How do your views on women's sex and dopamine hits and porn, masturbation, and all of that stuff change when you're on semen retention? You've been on it quite a while. You've done the work too, done the introspection through the process. You've faced yourself. Okay. Now, what's on the other end of that? All right. This is a big question, right? This is like, why should I be doing this at all? Why should I be on semen retention? What's the point? What do I gain from this, right? What you gain is freedom. You gain stability. You gain peace. You gain being grounded in your true, authentic self, your inner masculinity. That's what you gain. You gain all of the things that you're seeking externally, but it's on the internal. It doesn't go away. Okay, that's why I always say, like, relapsing doesn't make your benefits go away. You might lose some energy, you might lose some ojas, but the benefits come from the internal change and the internal alchemy that happens on the process. Okay, those will never go away because they become a part of who you are. You uncover your true self. Okay, so when I say freedom, okay, the freedom to be able to enjoy all of the things that once kept you kind of bonded in chains, right? The things that you felt like you needed, those dopamine hits, like the porn, the masturbation, the sex, the women, the female attraction, all of the things that had control over you, okay, no longer have control over you. So you can enjoy it all. You can do it consciously. And if dating and marriage and relationships and the section of, women and all that stuff, if that's what you want in life, because I think it's important to experience that, right? We're here on this planet to experience life, right? Because after you experience it, enough times, you start to realize that nothing truly external is going to make you satisfied, right? Only your connection with God and your internal connection with yourself. That's where the true satisfaction comes in. But it's important, but also I'm not saying that you can't have all of that stuff, right? Externally, it's not that you can't have a relationship or be married or have a family. If that's what you want, then that's great, right? But you can have all of that stuff in your life whilst not being a slave to it, right? Because truly sit and ask yourself, observe, if you're being honest with yourself, most men, what gets them into trouble is that they get addicted to the female nature, or the attraction, like the feminine energy and the sex, right? And that goes with all dopamine hits, right? So the important part is to have the freedom to have it in your life, to be able to enjoy it, to be able to experience it. You can become the best version of yourself. You can do it with a warm, open, and loving heart, right? And you can attract high quality partners because you're going to attract what you are. A lot of people like to cheat this though. They'll go online. They're like, they'll search in the red pill community or on YouTube, like how to be masculine, how to be alpha male, how to get people's respect, how to keep the girl, what to text her. And one of the things, and I've been there, I've experienced that, and I'll tell you why it doesn't work. Okay. Because you can't fake energy. And every human being on this planet, whether aware of it or not, we're all reading each other's energy. We're all picking up on each other's energy. Some people are more sensitive to it than others, called like the empaths, right? If you will, and can articulate it and can really understand it more than some, which is fine. It doesn't matter. Whatever your archetype is, it's cool. But when that becomes who you are and you get really grounded into that energy of yourself, that's when you can, again, you're not coming, you're not coming to it from a place of hate or anger or resentment, because that's what happens to a lot of people, right? Is they start off like really open and loving and honest and all of this stuff, and then life makes them bitter, and then they're like, well, I want to hurt people back now, so I'm going to look up how to get them back, red pill community. And so like semen retention heals, going through this process. That's what also gives you freedom, is it it allows you to confront all of this stuff. If you're ready to do that, if you're doing it honestly and openly, it's going to be awful. That's why a lot of people on semen retention get this, like, everyone's talked about it, right? You just feel so stifled and on edge in the beginning all the time. It usually makes you want to revert back to just doing your old ways. But that's what you're facing. That's what you're confronting and letting go of. And so when I say freedom, you have the ability to enjoy everything externally without being a slave to it, but you can also do it lovingly and openly. Because no matter how far you go, no matter how deep the connection runs or how deep you have, love you have for something externally, you're never going to lose yourself in the process. Okay. Now that's freedom. Okay. Another thing you're going to get, discipline. Okay. You're going to be able to have your boundaries and your lines, right? If something's too much for you, all right, or if you feel like you're losing yourself in something, you're going to naturally, because you have that connection with yourself, so you're going to naturally know how to draw boundaries. You're going to naturally know how to keep, yourself in your own orbit. It's going to be just organic and natural. You don't have to look up how to be masculine. You don't have to look up how to do anything. You're just going to do it. Okay? It doesn't even matter what you're saying you're doing. It's or how you do it, because it's authentic and individual for you. But you can do all that stuff, right? That's another thing you get. That's what it also turns into. So you can have these healthy organic relationships with healthy boundaries. All right. You're going to see what an unhealthy relationship looks like, because let's be honest, a lot of the reason a lot of people start this is because they realize maybe they're doing some things for love that are maybe not so healthy either. Okay. I hate saying the word toxic because that just implies that someone's a bad person, but if you're not careful, you're just going to continue to attract the people that are on that level of unhealthy for you, because you might not be so healthy either. Semen retention allows you to confront that, heal that, get rid of that, transcend that, become in touch with your true authentic self. Like, what is your true authentic self? What do I keep saying? I've heard that this has been described a million different ways, right? But I would describe your true authentic self, part of you that is detached from your ego and all of the things that are holding you back and all of the things that you feel like you have to fight for, your external validation, all the things you feel like your ego needs, being separated from all of that, but still having it exist inside of you. You just don't really embody it so much anymore. Okay. That's where the stability, the calmness, the peace, the confidence, all of that stuff comes from, because it turns it into an internal validation that doesn't go away. And you really do find your connection with the universe or God or whatever higher power you want to call it. Or if you don't believe in that, then that's fine too. We'll just call it external. We'll just call it your authentic self, So say that you want to date someone, right? A lot of people get upset if they relapse, right? That doesn't matter anymore, right? Because a lot of people think, well, if I relapse, I'm going to lose my benefits. Well, I'm here to tell you that the benefits don't come from whether or not you relapse, okay? Because it's part of who you are now. So say you want to spend time with someone, you want to be married, you want to be in a relationship, you want to do all these things and enjoy the pleasures of life. You can still do it, right? You can just shower yourself in these dopamine hits sometimes, and you can have the sex, you can eat the junk food, you can do all this stuff, but you're going to organically know when to stop, because you're going to know what's too much and what's not good for you, and when you're starting to lose yourself in the process. Okay. That's the important part, right? And finally, the more practical side of things is it's just so funny. We don't even realize it, just how much and everyone's doing it. Everyone does it. And I've done it before too. So I'm not like immune to this, but we don't realize how much we depend on love and relationships and sex and these massive dopamine hits through the sexual instinct for our own peace of mind, validation, confidence, and our ego. It's all ego, and we always need more and more and more. Like I've been in a place before where I really truly didn't feel like I was going to be happy or whole and complete without having a partner in my life, having someone to love me and validate me, because I couldn't validate myself. And yeah, I've been there before. You know, ironically enough, everyone's like, well, where does the confidence come from? Why do the women love it so much? Why are the women so attracted to you on semen retention? Well, that's why. And that's why just people in general are attracted to you on semen retention. And then also nasty, negative, low vibrational people are just repelled and repulsed by you. So it kind of you kind of get the people kind of weed themselves out, which is great. You don't really have to do much. Okay. Um, you become an inspiration to, and you help out the right people, and they also help you out, because you take from each person, you learn from each person. So it's a healthy, fulfilling, authentic relationship, whatever the type may be. And then the negative people, they just kind of don't want to be around you anyways, so it doesn't matter. um, you have the stability to not let them dim your shine. Yeah. Okay. So I hope everyone has a great day.